South Africa's World Cup preparation has begun, and it was a dominant victory by the West Indies, an all round display of cricket that we saw today. The West Indies claiming their biggest victory in T20 cricket over South Africa by 28 runs. And I'm not really feeling any type of way about this because for me, this is a kind of a replacement or more of a replacement for our warm up games, given that this is not our full strength batting lineup that is performing over here. But there are still some things that I'm looking at that I'm a bit disappointed about in this particular game, from poor performances with the bat from certain players. But I'm going to still talk about this review from a holistic perspective. What did I enjoy? What did I not enjoy about this game? Where do I feel that South Africa could have done better? Because at the end of the day, it's also about good decision making, etc. Those type of things also need to uh, shed some light on South Africa's World Cup preparation. So I'm going to approach this in a way of trying to overlook at everything and certain decisions. I'm going to talk about the lineup. I'm going to talk about the performances that I have seen that I think deserve some credit and some some praise, I would say. But it was overall a disappointing defeat. Not a very good look for South Africa when you look down the line at the score sheet in the future. When you look at these games, you're going to still see the score sheet and you're going to still say, you know what, bad performance from South Africa. But we need to take context into perspective of here and not get too carried away with our criticisms. So let's get into today's show. This is the review show. But before we get going, before we get started, I'd like you guys to please subscribe if you're new. Click that notification bell for all future videos. I'd also like you guys to please smash the like button, comment, and share. YouTube has changed their algorithm, so it makes it a lot difficult for you guys to see my content in your on your homepage if you haven't liked and commented and subscribed. And no, actually it's more about engagement, so it's like, comment, and shared our content. If you want to see more of it, if you want it to help me spread this content on YouTube, then you have to get involved with that like, comment, and share section on YouTube. We've also launched the latest issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. The new edition is now available for you guys. It's the World Cup edition, and it's 100% free, straight to your inbox every single month, every issue. So go ahead and go get your go copy, go subscribe now. You'll get notified with all the new issues. This issue is all about the World Cup, as I've shown you over here. This is the cover of the magazine. We also have an exclusive from Enoch and Kwe in this particular edition, as well as some opinion pieces and some analytical pieces about the USA, about the Proteas chances, etc. There's also an excellent interview from Jono Leafright, as well as Ruben Herman, uh, Jordan Herman's brother, older brother, and a nice Q&A about his season this season. I had to throw some domestic things into the mix. So go ahead and download your issue of the magazine. It's 100% free, straight to your inbox every single month, every issue, and all back issues as well. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. Looking forward to discussing this with you guys. A very good evening slash morning, I would say. Welcome to Cricket Fanatics magazine. This is your review show. I'm your host, Khalid, and this is the show where we talk about everything that has to do with the first T20 between South Africa and the West Indies. South Africa suffered a big defeat today, and I'm going to start first and foremost with the team sheet and the toss. South Africa obviously won the toss, and we elected a team of Quentin de Kock, Risa Hendricks, Ryan Rickelton, Matthew Breedsky, Rassie van der Dussen as captain, Vian Mulder, Andile Pechlekwayo, Gerald Coetzee, Bjorn Fortuin, Otniel Bartman, and Lungi Ngidi. Now, the first thing that stood out to me when I saw the team sheet is based on what we know about the West Indies and about this particular ground. I said it in my previous show, it's going to be a slow pitch. The slower to medium pace bowlers are going to dominate, as well as the spinners. And it's easy to say that after a game, but we would have known this before the game already. They would have seen the pitch and they would have known. Bjorn Fortuin, first and foremost, is not necessarily a spinner that turns the ball drastically. You could see there was only 1.3, I think, degrees of turn that he got compared to the West Indies. Got 3-degree turns. One spinner in this match, I don't think was a good idea, especially when you don't have a Aiden Markram in your team that can bowl a couple of offies in the middle overs and try and get some wickets. Bjorn Fortuin, for me, is not necessarily a big turner of the ball. He does manipulate speeds, lines, and lengths very well. Turns it slightly when he needs to, but generally speaking, he's not a big turner of the ball. So I think that having a Tabay Shamsi or Ngaba Peter would have been a good move by South Africa, especially to take off the pressure in seeing that with the West Indies were batting first. Now we put the West Indies into bat and we didn't start off well. They raced to 115 of 10 overs. They had over 100 runs by the 10th over. Even though we did take a wicket in the fourth over, um, dismissing Charles, who didn't find his feet today, but he didn't also face a lot of the balls because Brandon King kind of hogged the strike. He was completely dominant and he completely took apart South Africa's opening bowlers. I wouldn't say, I mean, ultimately they did struggle to try and get into the game, our bowling attack. But I don't think they were helped by the captain, Rassie van der Dussen, today. He bowled like one overs and then made a change and then another bowler and then made a change. I don't think that's very good for finding your momentum. I don't often see that. Um, I don't often see that from captains where they rotate the bowlers extremely quickly. But I have to give credit to Otniel Bartman. Bartman was brilliant today, I think. I think he bowled extremely well and showed his capabilities with the ball. He was South Africa's best bowler today with 3 for 26, an economy of 6.50, and he also started the weekend taking for South Africa by dismissing Johnson Charles. But then Andile Pechlekwayo with the ball was very good. I have to give him his credit with the ball today. And this is often what we see from Andile Pechlekwayo. So far, we haven't seen a complete performance, all-round performance from someone like Andile. He often does great with the ball and then does terribly with the bat, or does well with the bat and then does terribly with the ball. Today, we saw exactly that. We saw him really good with the ball, but very bad with the bat today. Didn't look settled at all at the crease. But I'll get to that a little bit later. He did take 3 for 28 and he took very, very key wickets for South Africa. He dismissed like I said, he dismissed Johnson Charles, and that was in the fourth over. And West Indies were 36 for 1 at that stage. Then Coetzee bowled as we expect him to. He does take a wicket, but he can be expensive. But he did dismiss Kyle Mayers, who also um, kind of tried to get the game. How can I say? He tried to level out the game and put the West Indies back into the driving seat again. And he did okay at doing that, actually. He was pretty decent at the crease. He got 34 of 25 runs. but then Jadal Kutsia took his wicket, and then South Africa started to apply the pressure. At this point of the game, before Brandon King's wicket, we thought that West Indies were going to run away with this. It's close to 200 possibly, but by the run rate that they were scoring at. But we did pull it back, and we need to give Andile Bekhelkwayo credit for that. He dismissed Andre Fletcher, he bowled him, and then he also took the wicket of Fabian Allen to finish with figures of ultimately to finish with figures with 3 for 28. And then the West Indies dug their heels in a bit, and they tried to um, score obviously a competitive or defendable score, and Ruston Chase was very important in that. He got 32 of 30, two fours and a six. But South Africa then started to take regular wickets. The run out also from between Mulder and Ngidi was very pivotal as well, um, at the end of the match to kind of stop them completely by the 20th over. But South Africa then took wickets of Akil Hussain as they got over the 151 run mark, and Bartman, beautiful delivery. And then Matthew Forday tried to do his part as well, but uh, he couldn't put in a decent enough performance for his team. He was dismissed in the 19th over, on the last ball of the 19th over, again by Bartman to complete his figures, of course. And then they run out as they got to 174. So the West Indies scored 175 for 8, and South Africa would have been happy with that, I feel. It's a score that is okay, but not a score that it wasn't a unchaseable score. As you can see, just by Reza Hendricks applying himself in this match, they got closer than what we would have expected with the collapse that happened. So let me get into South Africa's innings. Let's start off with the biggest disappointment for me today, and that was Quinton de Kock. Now, we know that he's been out of form, and he looked quite lazy at the crease. After hitting a boundary, the second shot that he played, no foot movement. So he got the first boundary with no foot movement, and then the second delivery, he goes and tries a crazy shot again, very poor shot, lazy shot, and gets nicked, and he's out, caught by Fletcher. And then Reza Hendricks and Ryan Rickleton were at the crease, and at this point, like, Reza barely faced any deliveries actually. For quite some time, he didn't face many deliveries. Ryan looked like I thought that Ryan looked like he was starting to settle himself before the spin of Roston Chase. Now, the West Indies got phenomenal spin in this game, but I'm not going to get too critical of Ryan Rickleton. But I think that he needs to play, in my opinion, every single game in this tour. On this tour, he deserves it. It was his debut today, so you can't be too harsh on the lad. He was stumped by Fletcher after a beautiful delivery from Chase. Then we saw another sparkling performance from Matthew Brzezinski. It was more of a like those birthday sparkles that they give to you at Spur. It was almost like a sparkle like that, rather than fireworks. I thought he batted pretty decently before losing his wicket on LBW. I mean, playing a shot that maybe perhaps wasn't necessary, but he was trying to go on the aggressive, so I've kind of forgive him. He's also, in my opinion, a top 3 batter, not necessarily a number 5, number 4, number 5 batter, but I think he's still capable of doing it, though. He has the talent. But his wicket was a massive blow for South Africa, and they found themselves at 35 for 3 after 4.4 overs. Then Rassie came to the crease, and Rassie did a Rassie things. Batted at a strike rate of 100, under 100 for a large portion of the game. When he leveled his strike rate, lost his wicket. LBW playing again quite a lazy, unnecessary shot, the reverse sweep straight after the break. No need for that necessarily. And he ended up losing his wicket, and that wasn't a good showing for him. But he's not part of the World Cup squad, so I wouldn't expect him necessarily to. Um, I mean, he's going to take things seriously because he's the skipper, because we know who Rassi is. But I'd like to see him try a couple of things and try to maybe play his game a little differently, play with a little bit more freedom, open up a bit, and try things that he might not have done before in previous tournaments or in the previous teams. So wasn't the best from him, 17 of 17. And then just as a collapse after that, Vian Mulder goes for a duck. Now, I just want to speak on Vian quickly. And I know I'm being maybe a little bit overcritical here, but he looked quite surprised that the ball was spinning when he came out to the middle. I don't know how. Um, the ball was spinning from over one already. Um, so if he was watching batters bat in the middle, you would have seen that. Um, it was quite a shock that he was unfamiliar with what he was going to face and what he was dealing with. I would have hoped that he would have been a little bit more prepared. He didn't look like he was settled and prepared for what he was going to face in the middle over there. And he went out for a duck after facing four balls. Then Andile Pechlakwayo didn't look good at all at the crease. Wasn't hitting the ball out of the middle at all. Got a bit frustrated. Ended up losing his wicket 4 for 11. Then was a duck by Bjorn, a duck by Gerald, and then 5 from Lungingiri, and then a duck by Othniel Bartman. And that was the game. But we have to give props to our main informed batter. For me, the first name on the team sheet. That is Riza Hendricks. He scored a career best score today, 87, a career best 87 of 51 balls, 170 strike rate, 6 sixes and 6 fours. Absolutely phenomenal um, performance. Top scorer on the day as well. Brilliant performance by Riza Hendricks. He was, in my eyes, probably the best batter today because he took it right until the end and really batted deep and still kept his head and still kept his form, regardless of the wickets falling around him. Now, that is a massive positive for me because if he can do that and keep that form throughout this World Cup, we have a big chance. We need his partners to now step up. Quinny needs to step up, and Rickleton needs to step up in the series because I think both of them need to get themselves in form because we're going to play one or the other in this particular World Cup campaign. We're going to have to play one or the other. And to me, at this stage, we need to go on form with this one. So I feel that those two, Riza and Rassi, Rickleton and Quinton de Kock are going to be fighting for a place, in my opinion, for that World Cup spot to open with Riza Hendricks. Riza was absolutely brilliant today, and he deserves the credit for a performance today that really stood out from the rest. And I'm extremely happy with the way he performed. West Indies spinners showed South Africa. South Africa only scored 147, by the way, in 19.5 overs. The West Indies has now shown South Africa that we need to play extra spinners in this game. We can't sit here and play only one spinner on a pitch like this. They're going to have to go and play an extra spinner. Either Tabay Shamsi or Ngaba Peter needs to play in the next match. I think the balance of having Bjorn Vertain and Shamsi and Ngaba Peter is the key over here. I wouldn't go with both wrist spinners in the same match. Um, is it necessary for someone like Gerald to play? Um, I think yes, because I think he needs to build momentum for the World Cup and international games, international game time is important before the World Cup. So that is something that I think needs to happen. I think he needs to play, but I also think that someone like Anrik Nokia needs to play. I know that he was rested because of let me just get it correct now. Um, he was rested because as a precautionary measure due to a lower back spasm. Now we know his lower back has been troubling him in recent times. So that's something that we need to make sure that we sort out. That's why it's vital that I feel Gerald Coetzee needs to play every single game. Now, I think that Lungingidi, who had a terrible day today with the ball, he got 0 for 41, I think it was. Yeah, 0 for 41 at economy of 10.25. He was terrible today. But then again, he's been out of cricket for a very long time, so I don't want to be too critical on the guy. He's been out of cricket for a very long time, didn't get to play in the IPL really, didn't get to really play much in the CSA T20 Challenge. So I feel that he needs, and he was injured for quite some time. So I feel that he does need to get to some momentum, but he's only a reserve. So I don't think it's necessary for us to play him as much as every single game. I think let's give Tabaré Shamsi a chance in the next game. We don't need to play with so many seamers. Um, I would also give someone like Patrick Kruger maybe a go. For me, with a bat, we need, if we're going to bat with this lineup, because this is the only batters we really have, um, it's critical that we perform with a bat, and we obviously tighten up that batting positions and that batting lineup. And I think someone like Patrick Kruger coming in might be a good idea for that. But we'll talk about team selection ahead of the next game in our preview show when we do preview the next game. So or the weekend's fixtures. I kind of feel that we need to actually preview it today. Seeing that we are here, but I'll try to do a show later today, this evening, at 7. Sorry, at 6, to give you guys a little preview ahead of the next game, and get your thoughts on what you guys want to from a starting perspective. So don't try to give me your teams now in the live chat too much. I want to get your thoughts on this particular match as a whole, and what you guys think, where things went wrong, where you were unhappy, what you were unhappy with, and what you are more proud of. Sorry, guys, I know I'm looking down a bit because I'm just trying to just put the report together so that I can publish it before while we are live over here. I'm going to get into your live chat very soon. I just want to get this report up and running and on Facebook before it's too late, and then we don't get to really get much readers on it. Let's see. I need to copy this. Oops. And add in the link of this show as well. Guys watching me work live. Okay, let me get into the live chat and see what you guys have had to say. Gaurav RVD costed the match. He can't play at 5, not his position. Batting order ain't good, no power hitter. Yeah, but we knew that. We knew that that was going to be the case with majority of the power hitters not available to South Africa currently. We don't really have many, actually, if I come to think of it. In South African cricket, we don't really have many power hitters, I would say, that we can run a roll of the tongue easily. The ones that we do have are all playing in the IPL, like your Donovan Ferreiras, your Tristan Stubbs, your Heinrich Klaassen, etc. So yeah, that's something that we need to improve on. We need to find guys, especially that we're going into this T20. We're going into this T20 generation where everybody's playing T20 cricket and everybody's aiming for massive contracts. It's about time now that we get some guys that are going to be that are going to improve their skills from a big hitting perspective. Because I don't think South Africa's problem is having big hitters at 5 and 6 when we are batting first. The biggest problem comes when we are trying to release, we're trying to play under pressure and chase. That's where our biggest problems come. And those are the type of players we need to find ourselves. Why did we choose to bowl first after winning the toss? I have no clue, but perhaps it was because they want to give themselves a chance to chase, knowing that we are terrible at chasing. So I was happy with the decision from that perspective, not from a winning the game perspective, but from a perspective that we were going to get um, a good experience of chasing in these conditions, seeing that the World Cup is going to be played. Some of the games are going to be played on those grounds. South Africa obviously play in Jamaica against Nepal. Tabo said, had Riza had someone at the other end, would have been a different ball game, 100%. Gaurav says, Quentin de Kock shocking again. Um, Mkhlaba says, Pechlekwayo bowled well. Yes, I was impressed with him. But for me, Pechlekwayo can't just do one discipline well. He needs to do both. He needs to be able to bat and bowl and do it more consistently in a match. This was a slow pitch and turn, and we didn't show up. No, we did. The batters didn't. And that's kind of the problem with this batting lineup because I don't even Vian Mulder. He's a type of batter that bats at 5 for me, or it may be higher up, like 3, 4, 5. He plays for his franchises, but 5 for me. And he just didn't assess these conditions well at all. He looked completely puzzled at the crease and not expecting the ball to turn. That's how it seemed. Now, I don't know if that's how it is, but that's how it seemed. Wesley says Vian Mulder is not good enough. How many chances is he going to get? In Proteas colors, he hasn't been good at all. That's something that he needs to improve. Guys, please smash the like button if you're coming in now, and so also subscribe and click that notification bell for all future videos, please. Let's get into some more. Wesley says Batman bowled really well. Good at the death, that guy. That's why he's here. He really, really, really is in contention for a starting spot in the World Cup 11, in my opinion, because he just has skills that other bowlers don't have in our team. Waka says no Lungi next game. Gidi looks short on confidence, just short of match rhythm, short on fitness, and short on confidence, I guess. Lawrence says Antile came to the party today. His best Proteas bowling performance in a long time. He went back to keeping things consistent and using his change-ups as a surprise. Very good bowling. He was also aided by the pitch, I feel. Ball also kept a lot lower than normal, but he did come to the party with the ball, and I was impressed with him with the ball. But for me personally, I'm going to always judge him as an all-rounder. He needs to sort out his game with the bat more consistently for South Africa. Wesley, had Mapaka not gone to IPL and played for Lions, he might have been capped today. Perhaps. It's very, very high chance that could have possibly happened. Brilliant Riza against his Wackers. Lawrence says Quinton de Kock was so lazy and nonchalant with his dismissal, and that's my worry regarding him. He doesn't look bothered at all. At Cricket World Cup 23, you could see how energized he was, but the last 6 matches, it's been lacking. Ordinary batting from Vince Stabo, no batting power. Bartman continues with his good form. Wesley says we need players with passion for the game. I don't think Quinton de Kock cares, which is sad. I wouldn't say it's that. I mean, Quinton de Kock's always been a player that when the stakes aren't necessarily massive, then he kind of takes things easy. I don't know. But I feel he needs to. I think Coach Rob needs to go to him and give him just light a fire under his ass a bit and say, you know what, you are competing with Rickleton for your starting spot in this World Cup. You need to show me something in the next 2 games on why I should select you. I think that should be the approach. Tex says opting to bowl was a blunder. We can't win chasing with this batting lineup, and the conditions got worse for batting in the second innings. You're 100% correct. 100% correct. I also wouldn't have chosen to. I was also quite surprised that we chose to bowl first. But I also think that the reason for that is because we wanted to put ourselves maybe in a position that we don't often find ourselves in, and we haven't found ourselves in World Cups. Like the last couple of World Cups, we haven't really found ourselves in chasing positions, really. A lot of the time, we've won the toss and then we've opted to bat first, which is our strength. So maybe they wanted to just put ourselves under a little bit of pressure. Waka says Riza and Ryan can open. Tabo says, I wouldn't start the World Cup with Quinton. Lana says, Riza once again showed why he's been our best T20 batter for the last 2 3 years. Run machine. Yet you had some people who didn't have him in their World Cup squads. His mentality for me is what sets him apart. Brilliant batter. Like I said, he was, even before the World Cup, I said, Riza's my first name on my team sheet. Dex says Peter and Shamsi should be in the second game. Also, West Indies batter struggles against wrist spinners. Dex says Rasi showed why why he wasn't selected for the World Cup. I think you meant. Lawrence says Riza's game against spin has also improved massively over the last few years. The way he just timed the ball on the slow pitch is a testament to the hard work he's put in to his spinning game. Yes, and it can still improve, which is the scary thing. There are certain deliveries on the outside off stump that he does that's spinning away from him that he does struggle with on a slow wicket. Um, but I'm sure that the more that he faces that, his eye will get tuned a lot more, and then by the World Cup he'll be ready. Um, oh wait, I didn't do something. I need to. Did I change the? I did. Cool. Tex Tex says had Rassi been a bit smart, we could have won this game. Needed someone to stay with Riza. Vian had no game awareness while he was batting. Lawrence says the the onus is on Vian to show us why he should play more international cricket now. He's not a kid anymore. He's an experienced cricketer. Texas Kundecock, as a senior member of the squad, should take the bulk of the responsibility, knowing the fact that the batting lack power. Tabo says exactly. Vian needs to step up now. DT says we made Rustin Chase look like prime Ashwin. He knows opening few balls. But anyway, I'm concerned about how comfortable these guys are against spin, how uncomfortable they are against spin. But we've always had a problem against spin. And I feel that the guys that are missing from the side are, are the opposite, are very powerful against spin. I think Stubbs, Heinie Klaassen, and David Muller are very good against spin. So you can see the difference in class between that middle order and the current middle order. But what would we expect? I mean, we're playing top order batters in the middle order right up until 5. So what would we expect? Even 6, I would say, because Vian Mulder isn't a big hitter. The less said about Mulder never delivers for the Proteas. Clark says the frustrating thing is these players we keep advocating for to get picked and always fail to take the opportunities. That is disappointing. That's a very good point, bro. There aren't many opportunities for people to play cricket, international cricket at the moment. So when players get their chances, they need to try and take it. I would give them a couple of games leeway, um, but at some point they're going to have to step up. Lawrence says Nokia in for Gerald and Shamsi in for Ngidi the next game. Tabo says Nokia should just stay at home. His back isn't the same anymore. An unfit Nokia is a vulnerability. Is a vulnerable Nokia. Sorry. TT says seeing how Lungi was training after the injury here at Supersport Park, I'm kind of gutted that today went the way it did. Lawrence has agreed on Kruger Khalid. We need a big hitter in the middle order. I feel we lacked someone with power game at the end with Riza. Cheese says Shama was needed here. Dabo says David Miller is at home, but he's at home, but he's another power hitter. TT says the decision to field first and the general squad selection for this game is making me question our ability to read conditions again. I thought we'd learned our lesson with Boucher. It would baffle me if they looked at this wicket and thought that this wasn't going to turn. I think this first game was more about giving our. I think they have a plan for the series, um, and this pitch did deteriorate a little bit faster, but there was a massive difference between spin. But for me personally, I can't judge it on that because I don't have enough information because I wasn't there to actually see the wicket. So I wouldn't be able to say based on that information. And I can't look at the information of the degrees of spin because I know that Bjorn Fortuin doesn't spin the ball much. Riza got a little bit of turn, a little bit more than he usually does. Um, and the wicket was quite slow, and it got slower and lower as the game went on. So there were some weird decisions made over here in this particular game, but let's see how the rest of the series goes. Like I said, for me, I just wanted this tour for a couple of the World Cup guys to just get their momentum and build some momentum into the World Cup. And I would have hoped that it started today. But unfortunately, now we have to wait till game two for the likes of Quinton, Rickleton um, to come to the party. And I think we need to play all our World Cup bowlers in the next game. That would be my decision. Perhaps that is what Rob wants to do. I think he felt okay. We rather give the newer guys an opportunity in the first game and then let the others play the rest. Perhaps that's the mentality. So maybe give the guys that maybe wouldn't get a chance to play in the first game and then play the rest in the next games. I'm trying to logic it out and I can't really logic it out. She says Riza Masterclass unlucky boys. Luvo says credit Riza Hendricks. He is the best player at the moment. Quindercock looks like he does not want to play. We need to bowl well in the power play in terms of all rounders. We are struggling. Let's give Kruger. Yeah, I agree. Against Nepal, we are playing at St. Vincent and the Grenadines, not Jamaica. Oh, okay. My bad. I have the fixtures here. I think I must have misread the fixtures. Um, I have the fixtures over here. It doesn't say on there who we're playing. Um, I don't know why I saw that incorrectly then. When I read it on Click Info, they give the venues. And it says Kingston. So I don't know why it says that. Oh, Kingstown. That's what. Oops, my bad, guys. I read it wrong. Um, yeah. So yeah, correct. We're playing in Kingstown. Okay, so this isn't really gonna. It depends. That probably also might be slow as well. And we were generally told that all the pitches in the West Indies are going to be low and slow. So yeah, let's see what happens there. Clock says it's a shame Matthew got out. He really looked good. I like him a lot. Maybe I'm a bit biased because he's from the province. I hope he gets more opportunities. I think he will. I think there's still a lot in his game that he can improve. He's shown great signs in his short spells for South Africa but he needs to now find a way on uh, on knowing when to turn it on, turn it off, those type of things. Gorov says, do we have other batters in the squad to change because there is no power hitter? Nope. Like, if you watched our previous show, you would have seen the squad. That's our batters. It's all the batters we have on this tour. So Patrick Krug is the only option to come in as a big hitting option. So that is what we have right now, guys. DT says, I hope that's the case, Khalid, because I also thought the same, but then I thought it would be counterproductive as it would lower their confidence. We'll see how the series goes. Yeah. So, guys, that's all I got for you tonight. Thanks a lot for joining in and keeping me company on this late night stream. Um, I really appreciate the support. Really, you guys have been die hard for a long time now, and you've stuck by this channel. And I hope that you guys continue to do so. Show your love, subscribe, click the notification bell, smash the like button, comment, and share. And download the issue of Cricket Fanatics magazine monthly. Every issue is 100% free, straight to your inbox every month. The link is on the screen. It's not on the screen yet. He's on the screen now. And then in the description as well. Thanks for all the support, guys. Thank you for keeping me company. And I'll see you guys again tomorrow with a preview show. Um, stay safe. Enjoy the rest of your evening, everyone. And I'll see you guys very, very soon. Peace out, everyone.